In the last video, we talked about the Solana CLI tool and got to experience the thrill of using commands. I also mentioned that it's not something you'd use all the time. In this video, no, we're still covering CLI stuff. This tool is really useful and important. Plus, the Solpg editor doesn't have the UI features that this CLI offers, so it's definitely worth discussing. Let's go over what it can do. Just like in the last video, I'll translate the commands from the documentation into Chinese for you. Just put it here for everyone to screenshot. You can see that this CLI lets you check information on a specific token address, and also list the token accounts that a user owns, along with some other common features. It's like checking your balance to get the token account balance, so on. And honestly, I think the most important thing is creating SPL tokens and managing all the different permissions for those tokens. Now that we understand this, it's like we can recognize the security level of different tokens in Solana. For example, we can tell if a token has given up its permissions or if it can still be minted. That's super useful. Last class, we went over how to install the Solana CLI. You check out the documentation. It might seem a bit complicated, but I'll let you in on a little secret. The Solana CLI we talked about actually includes the SPL token CLI tool. Let's input another SPL token and check its version number. Hey, look, we can actually see its version. Go ahead and install the Solana CLI. If you already have the SPL token CLI, that means this editor also has the Solana SPL token CLI. Let's take a look at it using the same code. So, what's coming back here? We see that the version in the editor is 2.0.10, but the latest one is 3.4.1. But no worries, they're pretty similar. So, to keep things consistent for the course, we're going to use this version of the SPL token CLI from the editor to show you. Now, I'm going to pretend that you guys have no clue about coding. If we have no clue how to use the CLI tool, our goal in the course is to help everyone think critically and find solutions even without direct guidance. You can figure it out on your own since code changes really fast. What's a CLI today could be updated tomorrow, and my tutorial might be outdated. So it's better if I just teach you the approach instead. First off, we definitely need to check out the documentation. It has a bunch of instructions that cover most of the info you need, but I noticed that it doesn't really say everything. For example, I want to create a token right now, so I go to the page and search for create token. But when I check out the command, it only say what parameters to pass. The only thing I see is decimals. Now, there's it. We should head to the terminal and pull up the manual. First, we type in the tool's name, L token, hit enter. So, we've got it here. There's a manual with it. The stuff in the manual is basically the same as what I just showed you in that chart. I translated it from this. You can also add a H at the end. It takes you to the same page. There are all these commands listed. If I want to look up a specific tool name, I just add the command and its parameters. For example, when we talked about create token, we just take the tool name and the command name, add a H, hit enter. Then we can see all the parameters we need to pass. I know a lot of you aren't great at English, so I've done a translation for you all to follow along. Let's get started with the case study. For example, I want to create a 6-decimal SPL token right now. How should we go about it? Let's walk through the steps together. Later on, we'll set up the SPL token tool right here. Fill in the blank and type in the command name. Yeah, the really useful part is that third parameter. We need to make sure it's a certain number of tokens. But what happens if you don't pass in that third parameter? Let's assume it's 9 digits. I'm throwing in a 6-digit example here. What this means is that our token's smallest unit is 0.1. So if you move the decimal point back 6 places, that's how it works. Alright, let's hit enter here. I'll zoom in a bit. So, we've successfully created a token. Created the token. Here's the address. It's just this one token's mint ID. Usually, in tutorials for foreigners, they say it's the mint address. But if you're coming from either and it's confusing, you can just think of it as the token address. Alright, so the number of tokens you've created right now is 0. You definitely need to mint some for yourself. According to this manual, we should be minting then. Minting a new token. So let's stick with the SPL token. Just in a moment. Let's check how it's being sent. The first parameter is the token address. The second parameter is the number of tokens. The third one is the address of the person you want to send them to. Let's give it a shot. We'll do a token mint. Let's just copy the address we used earlier. Let's just say Yukai is casting 1,070,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 7 zeros. Why, I'll explain later. It's like thousands, and thousands, so on. 10 million. I want to copy this address over here. The answer is no because it says here that the address is incorrect. If we look at the manual again, the address it specifies isn't actually my wallet address. It's the token account associated with my wallet. Oh, look, this is the account for that token. If you're not sure about anything, you can just watch our previous video on the top 10 account types in Solana. So let's say I want to store an A token in my wallet. My wallet has a specific token account just for that A token. If I want to store a B token, I'd need a different account for that one. I can't use my A token account to hold A tokens. I have to use my B token account for B tokens. But whether it's the A token account or the B token account, they both belong to my wallet. Basically, each token account can only store one type of token. Just think of it like this. Easier to understand. So, you see there's a create account button here. That's how you create a new token account. Prism create an SPL token account. Then copy the token address and paste it in this spot. Hit. It'll create it to YY for you. A token account is basically a special account for tokens that belongs to my address, like a dedicated token wallet for that specific token address. Let's change my address to my wallet, the token account. Hit enter. There it is. The signature popped up. Looks like it got successfully added to the blockchain. You can check our blockchain explorer if you don't believe us. Look, we've got this token here, 5UK, which is the one we just created. What about that thing up there? I was just messing around with it before I started recording the video. But, that stuff doesn't really matter. So you'll see that clearly. So, the account is basically my wallet address. The reason they say each different token is managed with a different wallet is because of that. Also, you can pick which block explorer you want to use. When it comes to options, we can see our account address, which is the address for this token. So, there are 2 of them for now, but we could have 7, 8, or even 9 in the future. It's all your address. If you don't believe it, let's just click on it and check it out. You'll see that token account. One of its owners is 3G3, which is our wallet address. Yeah, we've successfully minted 10 million of them now. I'll handle it myself. So now I have another request. I want to take this token, 10 million, transfer 100 to my friend's wallet address. So how do you do the transfer? There's a transfer option here. Transfer the token. You can transfer 2 different accounts too. If you want to know what specific parameters you need to provide, everyone can check this out. I've already looked it up myself. Let me break it down for you. The first thing is the token address. That's the address of the token we just talked about. Let's copy it real quick. Token 5 UK is the address. 100 is the amount. Can you send it over so I can check? Who are you sending it to, my friend? My second wallet. That's me. Check the address. Copy it. Switch it back to the BRL one. This is my friend's address. When I say friend, I mean it in quotes. You know? And also, where's this coming from and going to? I mean, what does the from refer to? Which token wallet has money? Is it my wallet? Just copy and paste my wallet here and hit enter. You'll definitely notice that. Unexpectedly, there's still a surprise. Just like the issue we talked about earlier, right? 3J3. That address is wrong, because it's not our wallet address. Let's go back to what we were talking about earlier. What he needs is that address. When it comes to the token, even though the addresses look different, it still belongs to me. They're just tweaking it a bit, but it's still mine. This wallet is specifically for storing the new token we created. You hit enter now. You'll see it still doesn't work, because this address isn't my friend's token account either. This is my friend's wallet address. So unless you help him set up a token account, there's no way I can control his wallet, right? Carry out the order from earlier. So here is introducing a method. Just add a good at the end. He's like there's a fee deducted here. That's it. Take a look here. It should be all set. Man, this internet is super slow. The internet's not great, but no worries. Let's just check it out. Copy and paste. Take a look at this wallet. My friend's boyfriend's wallet. His token. You'll see. There's like 100 here. Isn't there? So the one up there is what I used before when I was recording the video. We just gave him 100 for that. Yeah, that's how it is. Yes, and because the address for this token is also 5 UK. If we switch it up, we can see there's a token for 5 UE too, which is the account token. So, just send me the token account for my friend. I've already tried that. We're still using that code from earlier, but we're not passing 100. Can we send 0? I think smart friends know it's totally fine. Let's check 0. 2. Right. Looks like it uploaded successfully. Alright. We successfully signed here. Let's go back to this page and refresh it. Okay. Now we can see 100. 2. Which is just our 100 plus the 0. 2 we had earlier. So, the numbers being passed here in the CLI, they're not Lamprot. What I mean is, when I say Lamprot. So, remember those 6 decimal places we talked about? Let's say we're dealing with Ethereum right now. For example, it could be something like 1, 210, 0. So, when you see 6 zeros, it actually means 1 if we're talking about Ethereum, because all the numbers in Ethereum represent its smallest unit, right? Here 1. That means 0. 0. That's how it is with Ethereum. But this isn't Ethereum. This is Solana. Everything we type in the CLI includes decimals, while Ethereum doesn't. That's the main difference, right? Alright. Let's start over and mint another 200. Because I want to double check. I currently hold the minting rights. Those rights are linked to this wallet address. Let me check it out. This is my 3G3 wallet top. The wallet address shows the token holding I have. Wait, what did I just send? It was a transfer. Right. Okay. I'm heading to mint to check my token account. For 2YY. I'm minting 10 million of them. Let me show you something. I have casting rights now. Alright. Let's refresh this. It should have been successfully added to the blockchain just now. 2YY is nice here because I walk the same way up there. The numbers are pretty similar. Like 699. 8. Just take a look at this 2YY. It was 9,999 just a second ago. Now it's down to 1999. They have the minting rights for this account. I know you guys don't usually check the blockchain explorer that often. Let's switch to a different block explorer that a lot of people use, which is Solscan. Now, does that at all? Let's open up the DevNet network. Just copy our wallet address here and look it up. You will know how this blockchain explorer works, right? So this is my wallet address from earlier. And over here, that's my recent transaction. Stincy. 8. I just did that transaction a bit ago. Just click on it. Once you're in, we can see if there's an upgrade option and who has access to it. It's the dev address for my 3G3. As long as you check out this SPL token on the Solscan block explorer. If you see it's got an upgrade permission, that means it has the highest authority. I didn't give up. Alright. Let's try this out now using this tool to revoke my casting permissions. Alright. Authorize. First, enter the SPL token, followed by a space and authorize. We can take a look at what that means. The first parameter is the token's address. The second one is the type of action you want to perform. What about its types? There's mint and the freeze option. Alright. Let's just go ahead and turn off that minting permission. First, put this to CLC on here. Could you mind turning it off? Which setting is for that? It's the disable one. We can't tweak this by setting the permissions to none to disable minting, or freezing it, or turning the feature off. Alright, it's time to shut down this casting feature. Everyone can go ahead and turn off things like freezing and closing. 2. Everyone can give it a shot. Alright, so we can see it successfully on the blockchain now. Let's try to mint it again for myself. You'll find that it won't be able to mint. So once you give up this feature or permission, can you get it back? You can't. Let's go back to that page. We just saw that there's an upgrade option, but it's tied to my wallet address. If you refresh, you'll notice that upgrade option is gone. Isn't it's gone? So how do you figure out if a token has given up that permission? You can just check it out on the blockchain explorer. Did this SPL token actually give up? Anyway, permissions are all set. In this video, I'll walk you through the process of creating an SPL. This table has several important and commonly used commands in it. We can tackle the rest as we need them later. It's also worth mentioning the whole process we just went through at the SPL. You could actually write the whole CLI process using this JavaScript script. In other words, we just need to turn all the steps we talked about earlier into that script format. If everything gets switched to JS, we can set up all the processes with one click. But still, why do we want everyone to go through the manual steps once? Because we want everyone to have a better grasp of each parameter, especially things like tokens and accounts, which can be tricky to understand. So, see you in the next class. Just use fund recipient, and let's try copying and pasting all of this, then hit enter at the end.